Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to day 15 of my 30-day live Facebook challenge. I'm Justin Guarini. Thank you so very much for watching. And as you saw there in that video, that is a promo video that we put together, slapped it together to talk about joining the Artist Mindset Mastery Facebook group. If you'd like to be a part of that group, all you have to do is click the link above this video. In that group, we talk about so many wonderful things. There's a wonderful group of people. Obviously, we talk about art and artistry. If you're a singer, an actor, a dancer, a performer, an adult, or a child, we talk about wonderful things in terms of mindset, in terms of not only surviving, but thriving through the COVID-19 shutdown and beyond, and actually coming out better than we were before we went into the shutdown. But the whole point of that promo you just saw is the fact that I believe so much in this group. I believe in so much in Artist Mindset Mastery and what we are rolling out over the coming weeks that I'm giving away a free 30-minute mentoring session. And just like that video said, all you have to do is register before this upcoming Friday. I think it's the 21st, 22nd, something like that. And then let's see, a bunch of people have already registered. If you are in the group right now, you are all set. Rather, if you've already registered for the group, you're all set. If you would like to register, you will be eligible. And I'll just pick one of those names and give a free 30-minute mentoring session, which I love to do, and it'll be one-on-one via Zoom. So make sure you click the link above this video to check all of that out. Okay, as always, let me know where you're watching from. I'd love to see where in the world people are. And if you're watching this live, give me a hashtag live or hashtag replay. I always love to check in the comments and see where everybody is coming in from. Hey, Chuck, why don't you pull up some comments? And let's see, is anybody telling us where they're from? Hey, Tammy from Pennsylvania. How are you, Tammy Kennedy? It's nice to see you. Thank you so much for being here. And yes, Jen Michelle Marie, hi. As always, thank you very much for being here. Amanda Panda, I want you to win too. I mean, I want everybody to win. Did I just totally, that might have been illegal for me to say something like that. And Marie, hi from Ambler, PA. Lots of PA love in the house. Love that. I'm currently in Georgia right now. Hi, Monica in Kentucky. I'm in Georgia right now, and it is the South. I'm from Georgia, and I'm not saying anything negative about the South, but they have a bit of a different idea of when it comes to masks and, and social distancing down here. So it's a bit of an adjustment that I've had to calm myself down about. Murrieta, California. Ralph Porter, welcome, man. Thank you so much for being here. Harrisburg Live, Michelle. All right. So like I was saying before, hi, Kelly from Michigan. Thanks for watching. Like I was saying before, this is the day 15 of the 30-day Facebook Live challenge. I love to talk about things as it relates to artistry, as it relates to mindset, as it relates to growth, because right now, obviously, during the COVID-19 pandemic, it feels like we're all kind of like the four walls are closing in around us, and we've had to really shrink our worlds. And especially for performers, singers, actors, and dancers, and other performers, it's like we can't go to class. We can't barely go to university. We can't do the things that we normally do to get clapped at and applauded. So how do we make it through and not only survive, but thrive in the COVID-19 pandemic? And that's part of the things that we talk about here. And so during my 30-day live challenge, I've been sharing stories with you, and we've made a subtle shift over the past week or so, more towards artist mindset mastery for performers, singers, dancers, actors. Now, if you're not a performer at all, don't worry, it's okay. A lot of what I'm saying will apply to you as well, so make sure that you keep watching. And before I go into today's discussion, I just want to reiterate that if you are a performer, singer, actor, dancer, or a loved one of a performer, singer, actor, or dancer, make sure you click the link above this video. That is the link for my Facebook group. It is a phenomenal group of people. It is a beautiful community that I'm putting together that is all about not just surviving, but thriving in the COVID-19 pandemic and throughout this. And so really forging a path ahead so that when the entertainment industry opens, when we get back to doing what it is that we love, we can do it better and more efficiently and more effectively. Okay, for those of you who have been waiting for that group to open, don't worry. I've been waiting very patiently to hit a very specific number of people in there. It is opening soon. I promise. Be patient. Once the floodgates are open, not only will you get access to a wonderful community of amazing individuals, but you also get access to a free 30 to 45-minute training that I do called The Power of Questions, which is all about if you've ever had a negative thought, if you've ever had a negative feeling, if you've always felt some way and you don't want to feel that way anymore, it really boils down to the lesson that I teach you inside of that, the power of questions and how we can use questions as leverage to weed our mental garden, our spiritual and our emotional gardens, and get all that nasty stuff out and plant seeds of growth, seeds of joy, and seeds of love. Okay, so speaking of questions, I actually have a question from Sarah Myers. Sarah says, "What do you mean by emulating?" Sarah Myers, you are just ahead of the curve, aren't you? Well, today's topic is don't imitate, emulate. So, thank you very much, Sarah, for leading me into that. So, here we go. Points to ponder for don't imitate, emulate. Well, Sarah, I'm going to answer your question directly. But we got to start with imitation, right? I think that's the thing that everybody, the word that everybody really knows, imitation, right? It means to copy, duplicate, reproduce an original creation. Now, I've seen imitation and been a part of imitation throughout my entire career and my entire life. And more specifically, when we talk about artists and artistry, I will never forget being in Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, which is where the Braves used to play. They tore it down, and now I think it's Turner Field. But anyway, it was Atlanta Fulton County Stadium, and the Jackson Five were coming through on their victory tour. It was a big stadium tour back when you could sell stadiums out, and the Jackson Five. And I will never forget being in the audience and seeing the costumes and how the light bounced off the costumes and giving me chills as I talk about it. The smoke and the lighting effects, the music thumping in my chest, the audience roaring around me, the Jacksons at the height, and Michael really at one of the heights of his career. And I will never forget pointing to the stage and saying to no one in particular, I want to do that. I was 8. And as I retell that story, I just feel like, the air was just thick and the music was throbbing. And I just feel that origin for me, that origin story was something I actually talked about before. And uh, what I am getting to is that after that point, I actually was imitating what I saw up on the stage. I was copying their moves and how they did it and the way the Jacksons danced and the way Michael danced. Obviously, many people from my generation, many performers from my generation, whether it's Justin Timberlake or Usher or the bajillion other folks, Bruno Mars, whatever it is, have done a lot of imitation early on, myself included, imitation of performers like Michael Jackson. But that is copying an original creation. Hmm. So, what then maybe is the alternative? And if we look at the alternative to that, something that really helps us not to just copy that original work, we find the word emulate. And that's to try to be as good as or successful as. And as I went through my career as an amateur performer and then moved into the wonderful opportunity in 2002 with American Idol that gave me my big break, as it were, I really began to understand the difference between imitation and emulation. I saw a lot of people. For example, there was this one young lady who was just a dead ringer for a young Whitney Houston, and this is 2002 when Whitney was still with us. And she did there's a sort of vocal placement that Whitney has that is amazing. And this young lady did that, and I remember thinking to myself, she sounds good, but there's something that's just not quite right or quite authentic, and it's because she was imitating Whitney. Now, it's another thing to emulate, to try and be as good as or successful as. And the way, because look, Imitation, copying, right? There's copying inside that. Emulation, there's also some imitation, some copying going on in there. Both of them have roots in copying. Obviously, imitation is like right on. Emulation is copying, but I think another way to kind of break off and to redefine that copying and maybe to be more specific is with this next word, to role model, right? Now, when I emulate and I try and be as good as uh, Michael Jackson or even a Justin Timberlake or an Usher or those people that we know and we love, there is something to be said for when I role model, not copy, but when I role model, when I take their performances. I don't care, you think in terms of Broadway, for example, I look and I love one of my favorite performances to see on Netflix is Disney's Newsies. And in that, Kara Lindsay has this number, and forgive me, Kara, and everyone who knows this number, but it is the number where she sings at 50,000 miles an hour, and it's all about her being a woman in the field of news reporting, and um, uh, and and her just being like, "Oh, this is a huge story. I don't know if I can do it." All the way, I forget what the name of the song is, but I love watching that performance because there's so much packed into that 3 or 4 minute song that I can sit and I can analyze and that I can role model and that I can do and put in through my own filter and do in the spirit of Kara, in the spirit of things that I see, right? There's a certain amount of dancing that I love to do that's pop dancing, and there's much of it I get because of the foundation I had when I was younger, when I would imitate Michael Jackson. I can't dance like Michael Jackson, no one can. But I learned as I got older to do things in the spirit of Michael, and there's the spirit of that kind of dancing, which is just falsy anyway. Let's be really honest with ourselves. And so I then began to emulate. I began to emulate, and I think, okay, what is Kara doing on the stage? If we go back to my Kara Lindsay thing, and how she is singing the notes, and what's the tone that she's using, and how is she using her body and her face and her voice to tell the story? And there are certain things that I borrow, and then I put them through my own filter, my own experience of life, and that is the role modeling. That's the role modeling aspect. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Okay? There are people out there who are doing what you want to do and are doing it successfully and have gone through the ringer to discover the secrets that if you just start from scratch, it will take you so much longer to discover. But do not copy them so much as say analyze and do things in the spirit of and feel that it's almost like a piece of clothing. You try it on yourself and you say, well, that doesn't feel right. Or, hey, that does feel right. Or, oh, and you begin to experiment. And that's the way, you see the lineage in terms of from Shaka Khan, right? Shaka Khan was a wonderful singer. And then Whitney Houston emulated Shaka Khan and became her own thing. Right? And then from Whitney Houston, you have Mariah Carey, right? Came and emulated a lot of what not only Whitney did, but Shaka Khan did. And then from Mariah Carey, that lineage, that tree keeps going down to Christina Aguilera. Remember Christina when she used to do the hand all the time? That was so much of a Mariah thing where she literally was copying Mariah to the point where it was a little wild. But do you see that sort of lineage? Does that make sense to you? So none of those people, even Shaka probably role modeled other people that I'm not aware of. But nobody reinvented the wheel there. There was a role modeling and there was just a trying on and doing things in the spirit of that eventually those artists turned into their own thing. So, that being said, I want to just give you my final word here. And this is honestly, this is my favorite. The final word that I have to say here before I go and look at some of the comments and maybe answer some questions that you have is actually something when I was developing the 7-day Artist Mindset Mastery Challenge, which is a challenge we're going to be rolling out over the next few weeks with Chuck Faustine, my right hand man and business partner in the Artist Mindset Mastery world. We were talking about a certain a day where we talk about this type of stuff. And he came up with this phrase just off the top of his head because we were trying to think, well, how do we say this? How do we say this? And so it is one of my favorite phrases, and it was so perfect for today's discussion. So my final word for today is this: you can't Beyonce, so just be you. Does that make sense? This is so great. It's genius in its simplicity, and also in its just silliness, which is just appeals to me, right? Simple, silly. So you can't Beyonce, so just be you. At the end of the day, there's only going to be one Beyonce, right? And you can sound like her, you can dance like her, you can act like her, but you will never be her. I will never be Ben Platt. I will never be Audra McDonald. Whatever, you know what I mean. All the names that you know and you love, they are already them. They are there. They are there to inspire you. They are there to give you a piece of their spirit, so that then, if you want to harness a piece of the energy and harness the same energy that they have, you can emulate them, role model what it is they do, study what it is they do, how they do it. And just like a wonderful piece of clothing, you can put it on yourself, and where it's not fitting you right, you can tailor it, and then it becomes your own creation. You can't Beyonce, so just be you. Well, that is all I have for you when it comes to today's discussion of don't imitate, emulate. I hope that you enjoyed that. Make sure, if you're a performer, if you're a singer, actor, dancer, if you're a loved one of a singer, actor, dancer, if you're a parent of a singer, actor, dancer, guardian, if you are an adult, or if you are a young person, or if you know anybody who's an adult or is a young person who's a singer, actor, dancer, make sure you click on the link above this video to join my Facebook group, Artist Mindset Mastery Group. If you join and register rather before this upcoming Friday, which is Friday the 20, what is it, the 20 something, the 21st, 22nd, something like that. Let's see, let me look at my calendar here. Chuck's going to beat me to it. It is the 21st, Friday the 21st. If you register before then, you will be eligible to win a 30-minute live Zoom mentoring coaching call with me. We can discuss a mindset challenge that you have. We can work on a song. We can work on a monologue. We can work on audition prep. Whatever it is that you need, it is all good. Oh, wait a minute. Is it my mistake on the video? Oh, the video says the 23rd. Ignore that. Ignore that. It's a two-man show here. So yeah, the video says the 23rd, but at the end of the day, it really is the 21st, which is Friday. So that is the time that you have. We will be opening this group very, very soon. Thank you to those of you who have registered. Thank you very much for your patience. I appreciate you. Before I go with the last few minutes here, I would love to answer some questions and look over some comments. So I'm going to go to that screen here. Chuck, do you have any questions or comments that are on your mind there for me to answer from anybody? Chuck is my producer, among many other things. Yeah, I want to emulate Princess Diana and imitate Britney Spears. Now, there's somebody said, obviously, imitating Britney Spears, because I know that's a hot button issue right now, and she has made some interesting posts for sure on her Instagram and across her social media, and there's a lot of fun in imitation right there. Maybe PYT on AI was an emulation. It was wild. Yes, Judy, it was pretty wild. If you want to go back and Google PYT Justin Guarini, you'll see exactly what she means. That was a performance on American Idol. And a funny story here about that. I was told by the legal team at American Idol that they were told when they cleared the song PYT that I was not allowed to do any Michael Jackson-esque movements, which was like, oh, but how do I move? How do I live? Because that's like saying, well, you can breathe, but just make sure you don't breathe any oxygen. And that's what it felt like for me. But I ended up doing a very interesting bit of dancing, let's just say, on that performance. Got raked over the coals for it, but hey, you live and you learn. Hey, Fresno, Crystal, you're missing Little Sweet too? Yeah, I'm missing Little Sweet, but there's a new commercial out this year, and I'm excited about it. Little Sweet has a blonde streak because he's all about cream soda, Dr. Pepper and cream soda. It's a really fun commercial that we actually shot in Mexico this past year, and I'm just really just so blessed to be doing that. This commercial for the past 6 years. Okay, hey Jen, thank you very much. I appreciate it, and it's my pleasure. I absolutely love mentoring people and performers. I was just talking to my nephew who's here. I feel like I've had four different lifetimes in my 41 years. And my father, being chief of police and being in high political office in Atlanta, meant that I was around a lot of people. When Nelson Mandela came to the United States, one of his stops was in Atlanta, and my father was obviously the head, as chief of police, was head of the security detail, and I spent a lot of time with Nelson Mandela, whether it comes to stars, film, screen, and stage, and music. I mean, just it's part of the reason why I do what I do, because I was always around these people, and it just became normalized to me. And then you go on from there to something like American Idol, being rocketed from relative obscurity to being in front of 30 million people every single night, and then from there to Broadway for the past almost 10 years now. Gosh, it's been almost 10 years of Broadway, 6 Broadway shows in less than 10 years. I think it's more like 9. And then on to Little Sweet, and all the wonderful things that I've gotten to do with that. I really feel like I've just accumulated all these wild experiences, live red carpets, hosting live red carpets for the Grammys and the Emmys and the Tonys. And I want to share that wisdom with you, and I want to share that experience with you, and I want to help you avoid the pitfalls that I fell into and had to pull the spikes out of me. So that's why, one of the reasons why I created Artist Mindset Mastery. Okay, so we're around 22 minutes. I'm going to wrap this up, but I do want to say one last time, if you are a performer, if you are a singer, actor, a dancer, and you would like to join a community of wonderful, like-minded folks who are not only trying to survive the industry shutdown and all that goes with that with COVID, but also thrive in that space, expand not only their skill sets, but expand their mindsets, which I would argue and have you consider that is the foundation of success, that we build our skill sets upon, then please join the Facebook group, Artist Mindset Mastery Group. All you have to do is click the link above. If you click the link above before the 21st of this month, then you will be eligible to win a 30-minute 30-minute live Zoom mentoring coaching call with me, where we can discuss everything from mindset challenges you're having, audition prep, singing, acting. I will be able to give you tips and pointers on dancing, but you know what I mean. Audition prep, all kinds of wonderful things. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching. I appreciate it. This was day 15. That's the one that's supposed to come out. 15 of my 30-day Facebook Live challenge. Don't imitate, emulate. And I hope you enjoyed the discussion, because I certainly did. Thank you so very much, everyone, for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful night. I will see you tomorrow for day 16 of my 30-day Facebook Live challenge.